Welcome back to Revolution Pregame Live. We are pleased to be joined by Revolution Club legend and former goalkeeper Matt Reis. Matt, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be back. It hasn't changed too much, but this obviously where we're at right now is a great new spot, and excited to see the game tonight against DC.
What have you been up to, and what brings you back to Gillette Stadium tonight?
I'm working with a company now, and we're in a sports marketing company, and my twins had a baseball tournament out in Cooperstown, New York.
Oh.
So this was kind of the tail end of it, and wanted to catch a Sox game and catch a Revolution game. So it was nice. You guys were nice enough to have me, so we're here.
Is baseball the twin sport, or do they do soccer too?
They play it all. We try and get it with everything: golf, soccer, baseball, football, everything. So we'll see what they choose when it's time for them.
I know you had a chance to come out yesterday, visit some friends at Revolution Training. You also got a little tour of the new training center, a little bit different than the digs that you used to train in when you were in Foxborough. I just wanted to know, compare and contrast the new training center to, say, Four Kicks in Norfolk or Payson Park, something like that.
It's come a long way, and it's great to see, and it's great to see the Crafts pouring some money into it, and you see with the players that you can get, and you have the facilities that are out there. The Revs training facility is up there with all the rest of them in the league, and it's probably right up at the top. So it's great. It's great for the players to have that. They know week in, week out, day in, day out what training is going to be like. They don't have to hop in a van and drive over to another spot or anything else. So if the Patriots wanted to play on our field and kick us off, so there's lots of different things that we had to do, but it's nice that they have their own home now.
Speaking of the quality of the training facility, the team's quality on the field has really matched that this year. Number one in the league, comfortably first place in the East with a 12-point lead and on a 7-game unbeaten run. What's different about this team?
Well, I think, you look at what Bruce has done, and he does a great job of giving the players what they need to know and then letting them go out and do it themselves. So he's got a great eye for talent and has brought in some really good players. And, some of the players that have been here, like Matt Turner and Tayshaun Buchanan have really stepped it up this year and are really playing well.
Some people might not know, you know Bruce Arena very well because you were on a couple of coaching staffs with Bruce Arena as his goalkeeping coach, both with the LA Galaxy and the U.S. national team. So as you look at what Bruce has done with this team these past 2 years, where this team was when he came in May of 2019 and now where they are as Supporters Shield favorites, are you surprised at all how quickly he has turned things around here in New England, knowing Bruce Arena?
No. You look at his track record and everywhere he's gone, he's had a few, stumbles along the way, but for the most part, this is what he does. And like I said, he and his staff do a great job of organizing everybody, of scouting and making sure that everybody knows the opponent and what's expected of them. He gives clear roles as to what he expects all the players to do, and he also is pretty hands-off on when he pushes them out on the field. It says, you guys go out and do it. So, he instills a lot of confidence in the players, and you can see them playing that way now.
Matt, you mentioned the rise of some of these young players. You were with the team for 10 years. You backstopped them to 3 MLS Cup appearances, an Open Cup title, and a Super League championship. I'm just wondering, watching goalkeeper Matt Turner, 27 years old, what's your assessment of his rise through the ranks?
No, it's been great, and all credit goes to him. He's worked really, really hard to get where he is now. He's done great for the Revs, but also for the U.S. men's national team, and coming off an amazing Gold Cup, and some of the saves that he made in that tournament were fantastic. So it really helped propel the Team USA to get that victory and to secure that Gold Cup. There's a lot of good young players out there, but I think he's really shown kind of where he stands in the whole pecking order here in the MLS goalkeepers.
One of the guys playing out in front of Matt Turner, a former teammate of yours. There aren't a ton left, but there are a few still kicking with the New England Revolution.
Yeah.
But Andrew Farrell was a rookie in 2013, your final year with the Revs. So I'm just wondering what it's been like for you watching Andrew Farrell now over the course of the past decade or so. He's passing all of these legends of this club in appearances, all these guys who you played with, including you on that list, to the point that now tonight he's set to set the minutes record for the club. In a couple weeks, he could be setting the appearance record for the club. What's that like for you, seeing a guy who you probably still think of as a rookie setting all these records?
Yeah, I don't think of him as a rookie anymore, but it is amazing to see how fast he's done it, and that shows, you know, how tough he is. You know, it's also how well he takes care of himself. But to be able also to not really have a dip in form over all those years where, you know, sometimes you just aren't playing well, and that happens. But he's found a way to stay, whether it's a center back or an outside back, in the lineup, and it just shows how well he's done over these last few years, and he's probably done it in a couple hundred games less than I did it. So that's kudos to him, and I couldn't be happier for him.
Speaking of player milestones, with this team, you've seen all the success that they've had this year. How likely is it that this could be a real possibility that they could potentially bring home an MLS Cup?
It is. It is a real possibility, but it is a long season, and it's, you know, you don't really want to get too ahead of yourself because we've seen it all happen so many different ways, and it takes a lot to obviously win a supporter shield, and that's a real big accomplishment in itself. But then to do that or you know, then go on to win an MLS Cup is difficult. So, you know, they've positioned themselves in a good spot, and you'd want to keep playing, but you really want to peak at the end of the season and make sure you're playing your best soccer come November, December.
Really quick before we let you go, Revolution fans obviously know your story, your relationship with your father-in-law, John Odom, at the Boston Marathon finish line. Just wanted to get an update on how John's doing. Yeah, no, he's doing great. You know, he came out to the tournament out in Cooperstown, and so he and my mother-in-law were out there with us, and it's, you know, he's golfing and retired now, but, you know, living his life the best he can, and it's great to have him around, and, you know, going down Boylston Street the other day and walking past the spot and everything, it's very emotional, but you know, our story does have a silver lining, and things are going well, but thank you very much for asking.
Absolutely. Matt, thank you so much for joining us on the pregame show. We so appreciate you taking your time and spending it with us, and I'm sure Revolution fans are so happy to hear updates from you. We're going to take a short break, let Matt get to his other duties as the honorary captain tonight, and we will be back shortly with analysis on both of your starting lineups. Stay with us.